Welcome to the Lost Lowdown, podcast 170, with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
Guess what? We're back!
Woo!
Continuing our season 5 commentary series with the first episode, 5-1, because somebody left. I don't know who left, but
Yeah,
somebody left.
somebody.
Because we left?
Why did you left?
Because they left?
Why did they left?
Maybe it's because you left, whoever you is. Is that a royal you? It's like multiple, it's like the plural you?
Ah,
Because you all left?
you all left.
Because y'all left?
all y'all left.
All y'all done left us. Well, we made it through we made it season 5 in our commentary series. So,
They said it would never
congratulations,
happen.
everyone. We thought it would never happen, although
Proved
we
them
thought it
all
would
wrong.
happen. But, yeah, we're at number 170, which we just mentioned before recording that we think at this point we've recorded more commentary podcasts than podcasts we did for the original run of the show.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. Mainly because that's true because we started at the end of season 2 with the original podcast series.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy that we're in season 5 of the commentary series. It's crazy we're on podcast 170 for the Lost Lowdown. It's crazy that we've recorded more commentary series podcasts than the original series podcast. A lot of craziness to start.
Yeah.
And that's good because we're starting a crazy season.
It's
Season 5 is
season.
real crazy.
It's kind of bonkers, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah. I mean, I want to say, I don't know. I mean, some of the stuff they go for in season 6 maybe pushes it, but definitely on a sci-fi level, this is the craziest season.
Yeah, I agree. This was really, really the sort of climax of the craziness, and I think season 6 is, it's sort of on par. The Flash Sideways is pretty crazy, but but yeah, the time travel stuff and the living, basically having our losties be Dharma people.
Yeah.
Which we just never saw that coming. It would have been so great if in like season 3 or whenever they're in the barracks or something, if they had seen that orientation photo that they'll eventually take in the 70s, if they had,
that
if they
Christian
had
Shepherd
really
is
set
going to
that
show
up.
them.
Yeah, if they had really set that up on the show before, that'd be crazy to go back and in the background, if you look closely, you can see that picture, and it was all predetermined and stuff. But I mean, that's such a crazy thing. And then of course the end of the season, Juliet and Jughead, and the whole thing with that is going to be pretty crazy. But and then one of the biggest things from the time travel escapades from season 5 is when the light goes off, from the Swan Station, when Locke is looking at the light on the hatch, and the light comes on because Desmond went to the bathroom,
right,
and turned the light on, as it were, and then Locke, the time traveling Locke, is on the other side of the island, and he sees that light, and he could go over there, and he could tell his past self that it's all for nothing. But he decides not to.
Yeah, because it didn't happen before.
So that means when you go back and watch, that stuff in season 2 or season 1 or whatever, when he's dealing with the hatch, you can think about the fact that there's a future version of Locke hanging out on the island, and of course the quintessential time travel, funny bit is Sawyer watching Claire give birth to Aaron.
Yeah.
That's just too much.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's Jin interacting with Rousseau, they get a lot of crazy moments out of the time travel, definitely. It's and they're gonna tell us, as I recall, honestly, I would say, well, let me think. Yeah, I think of all the season premieres, season 5, this one is probably the one that I remember the least. Specifically what's going to happen in it. I remember, I think, a couple of things that happen in it, but what I do remember is how it starts. where we get this like we get this crazy like Dharma flashback, and we see that Faraday's there.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's a crazy moment to start the season with, and it definitely, it presents this huge like question immediately of how that makes any sense, how that's possible. Obviously, it's going to be a while before we know. We get pretty deep in the season before we see how that makes any sense. But yeah, I think that was, because otherwise, I don't know. I'm not sure why. Maybe because, like, if you're talking season 2, you're talking Desmond in the hatch, that's like, a major thing. If you're talking season 3, you're talking the cages and Juliet and, the thing from her point, major thing. Season 4, a little bit of a dip, but you are talking about, Oceanic 6, cabin moving, definitely still some crazy stuff. And season 6, you're talking the Flash sideways, and, Jacob's like shitty messages.
Oh, no.
No offense. But yeah, in this one, it's sort of like, you have the Faraday Dharma thing. But then I in my memory, and we'll see if this is accurate or not, in my memory, it's sort of like, it kind of just picks up, the threads where they left off, and it's sort of in the present day off the island, I don't remember if we even see the island in this episode or not, besides the Dharma thing. Do we see that they're time traveling here? Or is that in the second one? So another thing about this, and this is probably an aspect of why I don't remember it, is when this aired originally, it aired together with The Lie, the next episode.
Oh.
Like they both aired the same night, and so so it was sort of like a two-parter, even though they are separate episodes.
Yeah.
So I think that also made me forget some of this, because I remember some of the stuff from The Lie. There's some like that whole like Hurley scene where he explains the whole show to his mom in like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
The Hot Pocket thing, like there's like I remember the whole point of that episode. But I think maybe because of that, viewing that as sort of the completion of this one, I just don't remember. I think it's the Oceanic 6 getting together, like maybe Jack and Ben trying to get them together. But yeah, I don't remember exactly how that plays out. So I think this is going to be sort of my weakest memory.
Yeah. And I think I don't quite remember which seasons I rewatched during the original run of the show. But I think season 5 and 6 I probably didn't rewatch during the original run of the show. I'm not sure. Maybe I rewatched season 5 right before season 6.
Yeah. Yeah. But as a result, like we would rewatch before every season, and so that means that inherently season 5 had the least rewatch, because
the least rewatch. Yeah.
And we're not watching ahead because we want the commentary series to kind of be fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're not trying to watch, season 5 and 6 ahead. But yeah, that means I think I probably only rewatched season 5 once.
Exactly.
Whereas I've seen season 1, I don't know, 7 times or something at this point. So yeah, it's on a totally different. And season 6, I think we did actually rewatch part of season 6. Like at a certain point, I think they took a break. And I think we took the opportunity to rewatch a segment of it, but definitely the latter half of season 6, I don't think I ever rewatched.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So, once we get there, that's going to be like super new, but this is definitely the early version of that. Like I remember the big moments, the crazier things, but yeah, it's starting to get fuzzier, and it's going to be more of a like, oh, that happened.
Yeah, I mean this episode premiered January 21st, 2009. So it's been 9 years and some months. So yeah, I'm on the same page with you, man. I remember some of the bigger moments. I don't remember. There was a point at which I felt like I knew the show really, really well from the
Yeah.
beginning to end, and then but it's been so long with this commentary series that that's really degraded. And so in a way, it's kind of nice because these things will be sort of fresh and
Yeah.
sort of hit us in a new way. But we're sort of trying to piece together this whole story, so it's kind of interesting on that front.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to start season 5. There was a lot of cool, interesting stuff. The show's come such a long way from its humble beginnings with the Oceanic A15 crash on the beach,
Yeah.
and and it's still, and it's so interesting to see these characters. It's one thing to watch the show the original time and be embroiled in the mystery with the characters and trying to figure out what's going on. And then you get to the end and you realize, like, on the one hand, like, nothing's going on. There is no master plan. And then on the other hand, like, there is some sort of grand fate for these people, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fate they design in a way. It's kind of amorphous. But so it's weird with the commentary series, sort of knowing all that stuff. And watching these characters, it's sort of even more futile, them trying to understand what's going on,
Right.
and all these plot machinations and stuff
There's
like
pretty
that.
severe limits on how much progress they're gonna make.
Yeah,
You already know
exactly.
that.
And even when they come up with these grand plans, it's all doomed for failure.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode I don't remember too much about, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It should be interesting. I generally feel that way about this season. It's like when I think about it, I just remember a lot of bigger moments, and I feel like, it probably is pretty progressive of like season 1, the most, and season 2 a little less, and it just gradually, but I do feel
Hmm.
like there's a big drop off. Like I remember season 4 way better. I feel like I can describe the individual episodes and more or less what happens in them. And
Hmm.
with this season, it's like I don't know. There's certain big things that I remember, but exactly how it all is gonna work, it's like it'll be cool. It'll be cool to
Yeah.
actually watch it kind of unfold more like a normal viewer, and maybe somehow that freshness will cause it to, I don't know, come together more or make more sense or lead to some kind of new
Hmm.
perspective on what this is all about. What does it all mean?
What is it all about?
I want to know.
Well, can't wait to find out. We have a total of, including this one, 34 episodes left of this commentary
Woo.
series, not counting, New Man in Charge or something like
All
that.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
But just for the main episodes. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're nearing the home stretch here.
Definitely.
It's going to be pretty interesting to get back to the end, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, because I think, anyone listening to the commentary podcast probably has noticed that, one of the things we keep going back to is what the overall story of the show became later on, like basically reinterpreting the earlier seasons in terms of the later stuff, so
Hmm.
if we're seeing Smoke Monster, if we're seeing dreams or references to Jacob or whatever the others are doing, um, we're trying to like fit that all into some kind of cohesive thing.
Hmm.
um, the later seasons are definitely, I mean, that's where they really like planted their flag or whatever and said, "Here's what the show's about,"
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and the other, the earlier stuff, you have to work a little more. I think this will be more. Um, I don't know. After all this time, like coming back and kind of looking again at what direction they really decided to go,
Hmm.
and yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, I definitely think incorporating time travel in a heavy way was a pretty bold move, and I guess the only way they could one up that was with afterlife stuff.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like literally
Yeah, but
showing the afterlife.
it's like the previous seasons are the reality of the present timeline is very strange reality to be in, and then season 5 is like reality is strange because we're time traveling, and season
Yeah.
6 is like reality is strange because it's a completely different reality.
Yeah.
And and it's I feel like it I don't know how on purpose this was in terms of the joke or something or the irony here, but the whole classic thing of season one, or the premise of the pilot, they're dead the whole time or
Right.
whatever. Like them coming back to that in season 6, which okay, here's a period of time where they all are dead for real,
Yeah.
and so it's so interesting that they actually came back to that idea. Well, here's a reality where they all did die and have to deal. And like this is the show you guys
Right.
thought you were watching back in season 1.
Right.
Where they have to deal with their issues of the past and move on and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, all that time on the island was for something. And we've you and I have been watching or have watched the first 2 seasons of The Good Place, the sitcom, and there's a lot of lost connections. I think
Yeah.
specifically in terms of this idea of a group of people who are bonding over their shared misery,
Yeah.
and who are in a sort of not quite real place, and who may or may not have been dead all along, all those kinds of things. And
Right.
like if you think about Lost, and especially in the beginning, well, the whole show, but especially in the beginning of them trying to survive on the island, it is like hell. It
Oh
is
yeah.
hard. They are sort of torturing each other and making each other's lives miserable. Because Kate, I told you to stay behind, but you followed me anyway. Um, but so yeah, it's kind of interesting looking at it from that perspective too. And that's what's kind of interesting about the show and our commentary series, and the fact that we're still talking about the show over all this time is there's other things happening in life that are that weren't around at the time that you can kind of use to sort of look at the show and talk about the show.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I think The Leftovers also
yes,
had an
usually.
influence on how I think about the show because I mean,
Mhm.
Damon Lindelof obviously, and it touched on a lot of similar themes, and yeah, the direction that show went at various points, I think that had a big influence on like what are obviously Damon Lindelof's personal fixations
Mhm.
that show up in Lost in pretty prominent ways. So yeah, the time has definitely changed things. I think if you pull up and I still need to do this. This is something that I keep talking about doing and not doing. But if you pull up the podcast for this episode or a previous one you listened to us back then,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna sound very different in what we're focusing on and even just how we're thinking about the show.
Mhm.
I think our perspective on it was just way more. I don't know what the word is. Just kind of. Uh, it's a puzzle to solve. It's this thing where we just gotta like pick up the clues and then we'll figure out the thing before we get our eventual answers. I mean,
Mhm.
I think that's kind of how I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time before we learn.
Because that's
you
what
know
mysteries are, right? I mean, that
yeah.
is the pattern we've learned from all mystery storytelling through the beginning of time, is that you invest in the mystery and then you generally get some mysteries go unresolved, but generally if it's a story that you piece together the clues and then you find out, how the clues made sense and what then the mystery's revealed as
Right.
like what was going on there. But yeah, so that idea of a mystery that you can't actually solve is really what's at the heart of the show, because that's what life is. It's a mystery you can't solve.
Yeah.
And nobody knew that we were watching a show about life. We
No.
thought we were watching a show about people stranded on an
Yeah.
island trying to get
A
off.
crazy, mysterious island with all
Hmm.
sorts of strange people and properties, and yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the reveal is the island isn't strange and mysterious because the island is strange and mysterious. The island is strange and mysterious because life is strange and mysterious.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to Across the Sea. It's like here's the proof of the pudding. Let's go all the way back in time, as far back as we're ever gonna go, and we're going to basically tell you that nobody knows anything and
Right.
everyone's just grasping at straws trying to survive.
Yeah.
And supernatural things may happen sometimes and they might not happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And you're just stuck dealing with them, and
Yeah.
that's it. And it's a strange sort of satisfaction to have what is sort of self-evident about life dramatized on a show and like shoved back in your face,
Right.
like
Yeah.
like yeah,
Yeah.
there's no conclusion here because life has no conclusion. Aren't you happy?
Right.
It's like no, but that's what TV's
Fuck
for,
no.
so we can get, that's what fiction is for, so we can artificially
Yeah.
create these conclusions
The
to things that
satisfaction.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it's like no, we're just gonna mirror life and make you miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, and some characters will talk like they know what's going on, or they understand some mysterious element, and
Mm-hmm.
they might be totally full of shit, or maybe they're right, but they don't even necessarily know even when they are right. Sometimes they're
Yeah.
just kind of lucky,
Yep.
and a lot of times it's guesswork, and maybe Dharma learned something about the island, but it's not clear that they really learned a whole lot of value,
Mm-hmm.
even with their sort of scientific approach. um, and we had scientists come to the island, on the freighter. I mean, we're gonna see some of that. Faraday was working hard up in Michigan or whatever.
Oh, geez.
And his big theory, it just didn't really pan out, and it was only a
Mm-hmm.
small part of the story anyway. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it wasn't like it wasn't even about the island. It was just about time travel and what it means to travel through time, and how that can affect the future.
Yeah.
You know, which is tangentially related to the island at best, but he wasn't even right about that. So,
Yeah, and you think as a scientist he would, understand the limits of his ability to predict what could happen given such little data, but he
yeah,
was really, but I guess as a scientist he was overly confident in what
absolutely.
he thought. And we buy into that, right? I mean, again, it says something about
Totally.
life is we buy into these, quote experts
Yeah,
who tell us certain things and maybe the things we want to hear,
yeah,
whether it's a scientist or a religious figure or something, sort of giving you the keys to life or how you should, you know, what you should do or how you should do it in life. And they're wrong. They don't really know much more than you do.
right.
And yeah, and I think that is, again, another ironic thing is how you can be right about certain things and not know you're right. So
Yeah,
you sort of don't get the satisfaction of knowing you're right. You just go, well, I think it's this thing, and then you might change your mind later because you didn't get verification. You
right,
know,
right.
it's like it's a classic that TV show Sliders. They're every episode they're trying to find the dimension that's their home
Oh
dimension,
yeah,
and then the one time they actually get to their home dimension, they misunderstand the sort of sign that they're home, and they go, "Oh, well, this isn't our home. Time to go to the next dimension." And then you realize that was their one chance to stop. One chance to go
wow,
home.
ouch.
Yeah, it's so great. I'll never forget that. I feel like it's the kind of thing Lost. They do that kind of thing.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of how in Deep Space Nine, there's an episode where the the original O'Brien dies and is replaced by like a sort of alternate universe O'Brien
Mm.
that's like
Hmm.
he's like he's technically just like a couple hours off, I think,
Yeah.
but it isn't actually the same person.
Dude, they do that in Voyager. They do the same thing with the character in Voyager where he dies and there's a duplicate dimension sort of or
Yeah,
duplicate Voyager who has had most of the same experiences, but it is slightly different. And then of course after that episode, they never talk about it again.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not like they come back to the character and they're like, well, it's been 6 months since I've come to your reality, and this is what I've
Right.
learned, or this is what's different. They just pretend like it's all the same. And
Yeah. Exactly.
they actually, Voyager did. They actually one up themselves. There's actually an episode. I'm gonna talk about it without spoiling too much for anyone who hasn't seen this 30-year-old show.
Yeah.
But like they have an episode where I'll just say the entire show is called into question.
Oh God.
Yeah, like what you've been watching on the entire show for a while gets called into question in that kind of context of it. Are these our characters or not? Like, I don't know. And then you just
Wow.
have to deal with it and move on. It's pretty interesting.
Wow. That makes me want to see it. I've never seen Voyager.
I love Voyager. It's great. Deep Space Nine might be better, just sort of substantively as far as the drama goes, but Voyager's great stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But speaking of Lost, I do also want to go listen to some of our original podcasts. I mean, that's really the benefit of recording your thoughts, is you can go back and revisit them. So I would love to know what we thought about and how wrong we were about certain things, and like like you said, what we were fixated on, and would be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to do that. When I was doing that, it's fun to listen to, even if it's like, oh come on, what are you doing? You're off track. Like, don't get fixated on this detail. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this thing doesn't matter at all. I'm sure we talked about it for like 20 hours long.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's so much of that. Every now and then, we would hit something, but it's kind of like the characters on the show, where it's like, but we didn't really know. You know, we didn't have like a process that was guaranteed to produce correct answers. It was just like sometimes it would just happen to hit on a right thing, and sometimes we would even abandon the right answer at a certain point.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like the whole Christian Shepherd thing. Like we talked about that last time. Like we went on to evolution, where it was like, no idea what it is. Definitely smoke monster. Not the smoke monster.
Yeah.
And then like, oh shit, it was the smoke monster.
Yeah, it got weird. Because we and it's that thing. I think what was happening there was that idea of Man in Black becoming its own human character, or human-like character, versus like, why would the smoke monster be doing this stuff?
Yeah.
It's just the creation of something,
Yeah, it wasn't about judging, and I think that's where I got like fixated on the idea of this smoke monster as a security system / judgment thing, the executioner or whatever.
Yeah.
That when Christian wasn't behaving like that, it was it just started to seem like it wasn't like Yemi anymore. And
when he's like, tell my son I said hello, you're like, well, why would the smoke monster say that,
Well, hey, it's a good question.
Yeah. Well, the answer is he's deceiving all of us.
True.
I mean, and that's the thing you didn't think about at the time, is that, he's just lying. He's manipulating this entire situation because he's got a loophole he's trying to accomplish.
Right.
And,
that's part of the loophole.
That's part of the loophole.
Yeah.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing Locke that he was Jack's dad. That's the common phrase, right?
You know what I think is the weirdest one, which people will say that it isn't the smoke monster, because of the water thing, and also because it just doesn't make sense. But the whole "you can go now, Michael," we just watched that.
Yeah.
I think that's the weirdest one, because it's like, he just shows up out of nowhere. Michael's never seen him before. You can go now, Michael. Who are you? Boom. What the fuck was that? Like, why bother? I mean, it just seems so, I don't know.
Well, clearly for the audience, because we, had seen Christian with, we just came out of, what's that episode?
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we had just gotten reintroduced to him and his whole,
Right.
he's important with whatever.
And he was talking about moving the island in order to, stop the freighter people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does seem like it ties into that, but you realize that he doesn't actually care about the freighter specifically. That's not his focus at all. He's really just doing that because it happens to be happening right now, and he really is focused on Locke and Ben.
And that idea of you can go now, I mean, was he at all responsible for Michael being there? I mean, the
Yeah, the Libby sightings and stuff.
yeah, I mean, like the whole idea was Michael is undercover for Ben,
Yeah,
but somehow Man in Black's, and then it's the precursor to that. You can go now, and the thing blowing up was Michael thinking he was going to blow up a bomb on
yeah,
the freighter, but then there's innocent people here, so you can't do it yet, and then that whole thing
yeah.
with the fake bomb.
Right.
So it's weird to give Michael this fake bomb and to sort of mess with his mind, and then later there's actually a real bomb
Right.
that he's not going to be able to like get out of. And yeah, I still can't quite figure out the you can go now thing. Like why, like how did Man in Black knew Michael was about to die because he was just watching, like
Yeah.
he was just
Whatever that means.
Yeah, somehow he's just able to see what's going on
Smoky
there,
sense.
like the smoky sense. Oh jeez.
Yeah, it's a strange one. It's a strange one. It's the kind of thing where, yeah, I wonder what their thought process was when they showed that.
Because if we really want to go down that road with this idea that Man in Black is involved with Michael coming back to the island now, when Michael's back in New York and Tom comes up to him and he's like, hey, you got to come back to the island and all that stuff. And Michael tries to kill himself.
Yeah.
And the gun doesn't go off. I mean, is that Man in Black's telekinesis?
Oh my God.
Stopping the gun?
I guess once you open the door to, like, the Man in Black sending the vision to Jack, so that he sees Christian, I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility at that stage that he could actually project. That's so crazy, though.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, and that's why he's like, you can go now, because
it does seem like that's implied.
Like he's involved in Michael coming back since the beginning of that
line. It does imply that sort of you've
your
been
whole
kept
job
alive,
is done. Yep, your whole
so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that is crazy though.
Because even Kimi, isn't it? Yeah, Kimi walks in. In episode 2 before, Kimi walks in and tries to shoot Michael, right? And the gun doesn't go off.
And the gun doesn't work, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that one, a little closer to the island, I think I could even buy that, a little more easily.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, though. For some reason, I never thought about the telekinesis. Because he never fucking uses the telekinesis.
That's the thing. It's like this thing he does one time, and now it's applicable possibly in all these other scenarios that it probably doesn't even matter in. But yeah, it's like, well, you can't discount it because it's a power he's got. I mean, why can he even fly as a smoke monster to begin with? Well, telekinesis. Right. I mean, let's start there.
Yeah. No, I remember the original thing was, the original cabin visit when it starts, all the stuff starts like flying around.
Everything flies around. Telekinesis.
That kind of fits. I mean, maybe even the cabin moving.
Yeah, the cabin moving telekinesis.
So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
But it's. I mean. It really
and listen,
is
he
bizarre.
gets his power. He gets his power from the island, right? And we just saw the island move.
Yeah.
Is that telekinesis? Or island kinesis?
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. It's just I can't. It's just,
is there a word for that? Is there a word for like ruining something on your way out? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like you're leaving a party and like you like cut the music off and
there should be a word or phrase.
You know what I mean? There's something where there's some phrase that gets that across, but it's like you toss a bomb into an area and close the door. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like something where you're blowing something up, but you're not gonna be affected by
Yeah.
it. I feel like that's what they did with showing Locke with his telekinesis, uncuffing. What was it, Saeed?
Ben.
Oh yeah, Ben. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little thing where it's like, man, they did not have to do that,
No.
and they never will come back to it. But
No.
yet now we're stuck with the ramifications of that.
I know. It's just I never it's not normal. I mean, I've seen shows where characters have telekinesis
Hmm.
and you do not say that a character has telekinesis by showing them using it once
Hmm.
explicitly
Hmm.
and then expecting them to by implication assume that they used it in all these other circumstances where you didn't even know they were involved.
Yeah, but that goes back to one of our big revelations about the show and how to view the show and sort of this whole idea of the chronology matters in terms of your interpretation of events. So, obviously the big example is the numbers. If the first scene you ever saw with the numbers was them being put on the Dharma hatch by the random Dharma guy, you would know the numbers aren't special because in that context, there was nothing special about them. They were literally unspecial.
Yeah.
It's only till later that Hurley places meaning on them, from his own, psyche and his own fears that he believes that they're cursed. So it's a similar thing with the telekinesis. If the first scene you saw was him using it, then every subsequent scene with Man in Black or the Smoke Monster, you would have that context of he has telekinesis. So you go, well, maybe he's using it here. Maybe he's using it here. So it's like it's this thing where the chronology really does matter. But yeah, it's just a strange thing where it's just like, here's a power you never were really thinking about.
Yeah, and I guess I would expect him to use it more. I mean, it is fair to say that, if you take the Smoke Monster's powers that way, then it's like, yeah, every time he's the Smoke Monster, he's, using a kind of telekinesis. Like, well, okay. Fair enough.
And he clearly has telepathy because he can send people dreams. He can read minds.
The scanning thing, yeah.
So he's got psychic powers. Obviously
Yeah.
Walt had psychic powers. Hurley has psychic powers. Miles has psychic powers.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that thing that's true. But yeah, the specific thing with telekinesis is super interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like one tiny thing in one little scene, like it's just too much.
It's literally the smallest thing, that he could have done. It's not like Magneto and X-Men 3 moving moving the Golden Gate Bridge or something.
You would think it would escalate right like that. That's the normal thing. Like the first thing you see is that, and then later on he, I don't know, like throws around the submarine or he repels Widmore's like mortar attacks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he knocks down the sonic fence. Like it's just sort of like why? I mean, once you have telekinesis, it's just weird that you don't use it more.
Yeah.
Like
forgot he had
screen.
it.
Yeah, it does seem like he forgot.
Yeah. It's like, what? I can't move things with my mind. Oh, wait. I guess I can.
Who told you sometimes. I could do that?
Oh, geez. Yeah, you find out that he's the one who planted that tree that Sun ran into,
exactly.
30 years before. It's like, I'll plant a tree right here. Nothing bad will ever happen because of it. Oh, man. All right, you want to get into the episode?
Let's do it.
Let's get to some Because You Left, which is a very accusatory title.
Indeed. Yeah, it's all about the guilt.
Yeah, the capital G guilt. Everyone's guilty. Everyone's got some guilt on this show.
It's all because you left. That's why everything bad happens
shouldn't have
in the
left.
world.
Stop wanting safety and security.
Yeah.
Stay on this like dangerous island forever.
Yeah, why didn't you do that? What's wrong with you?
Clearly it's what the island wants, and the island always gets what it wants.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to the episode.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, get your players ready if you're going to sync up with us for some Because You Left. I feel like there's an implied finger wag there,
Yeah,
or at least some pointing.
definitely. Yeah, it's like
Um,
there's accusations implied.
yes, such implied accusations. All right, here we go.
All right,
Counting down to Because You Left.
let's do it.
All right, five, four, three, two, one. Previously on Lost.
I remember this one.
Yes, it's like it just happened the other
This is
day.
TV's Ensign Row. Oh wow. Oh right, yeah, because they're gonna address that again. The random guys that are watching them.
Mm-hmm. Widmore's men,
I
perhaps,
guess. I don't know. I don't know
because he
what's
really
going
wants to get
on.
back to the island for no apparent reason.
I guess, yeah, because he's gonna build a roller coaster there or something. I don't
And
even
here's this thing with Locke saying Jack has to go back. There's so much like cachet you get out of because Locke is dead now. Everything he said has
know. Mm-hmm.
importance. It's like
It means more
no,
now.
why? We totally buy
'Cause
into
he's
that.
dead.
Oh jeez. All
If he
right,
didn't die, it'd be
look
fine.
who's look who's not dead. Man, I hope that baby isn't Miles.
Oh God! Oh God! I forgot. Oh shit! You're
Don't
right.
forget.
Oh
Don't
my
forget it
God.
all.
Oh my God.
Oh man, it's so much to take. I can barely handle this
I
scene.
forgot. Oh my God. I really forgot. Holy
Sorry
shit.
to ruin it, but
I
yeah,
remember the Faraday thing, but I forgot that it's fucking Miles!
fucking Miles.
Baby Miles!
Oh man, he's gonna grow up to be so sarcastic.
I know, you really can't tell yet.
No,
Who
and there's
would
just
guess
like,
that?
and
So
they're
weird.
doing the classic. We're not gonna show you who this is.
Yeah, out of context.
But he just took a shower and he's still wet, so I think it's Jack. I'm just gonna
Classic
go,
Jack.
no need to dry off completely.
Yeah.
Oh no, now we're at the Dharma barracks. But
Yeah.
wait, this isn't our losties here. This is
It's
70s
not.
looking people.
Yep.
Oh
Okay.
god. And then this.
They got a script. They're
And
doing
then
a
there's a
shoot.
script and it's a set. And this was mind blowing because you
Yeah.
didn't understand how much production went into these and how fake they were.
So bullshit. It's
Ugh.
crazy.
And it's like, who are they for? We don't know. You're not Marvin Candle, you fire-related fraud.
Oh, it's the arrow he's doing.
Oh wow.
This gives us a chance to like see that.
That's why it's called the Arrow.
Oh.
See, here's the like, okay, we're doing a fake video, or we're doing a video. It's not really fake, right? I think that is true about the Arrow.
Yeah.
We're doing this video, but now, here's this really crazy thing happening. Like, do a video about this.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's kind of irrelevant. It's a way to get the arrow thing in there. I still wonder about the alias thing. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's like people are seeing him walking around. It's like I don't. It's like is it really
It's
a
like there's
secret?
the new. It's like a multi-level marketing scheme.
Yeah.
It's like all the new people in.
Right.
are
It's like
the-
Avon.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Something happened. Drilling with the things.
Uh-oh. I remember this.
Yeah.
That looks like a donkey wheel.
Oh, jeez. Hmm. Wow, that's really direct. And again, here's another example that everyone in Dharma doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
Now there's rules,
Not rules. You're gonna do nothing.
which is doing something.
God
See,
help
this
us
is
all.
well, this is where it comes from, right? Chang has this idea that the energy can, more or less destroy the world. I think that was the subtext there.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, Rosinski thinks that later. And then you
Yeah,
got people at the Swan Station thinking that's what happens if you don't press the button.
that's true. I wonder who this mysterious
Oh,
character
no. How is this possible?
is. Yeah, this is kind of mind blowing when you don't understand the context.
And and then this. I mean, this show's great at it. It's just just. And then this look. Oh, no.
I love it.
Jeremy Davies, everyone. Please give him an Emmy for that.
You
Just
didn't
that
have
look.
to say a line. It was
He
just a
didn't do
look.
anything. Wow. Yeah, and what's strange is we know how he's there. You know what I mean? Like we saw the island move, right? In the
Right.
season finale, season 4.
Yeah,
But we don't think that that's the reason that this happened.
that's true.
It's so weird that even though we know that a big thing happened, we're not. Oh, well, the island might be time traveling, so that's why he's there.
Right, right. Yeah.
Or I should say, the island is time traveling so much as the people on the island are time
Right.
traveling
right.
through different parts of the island's history.
That's the
which is even
confusing
crazier.
part. The island
Yeah.
moved and the people started time traveling, which are kind of separate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, they're just taking the body from there.
That's what you do. You steal bodies.
Wow. Oh no, that's taken care of.
What?
I don't understand that line.
Like, he's hurt. He's crazy enough to believe you without much help. I don't know. Oh, Jack,
Yeah, guys.
that fake beard. Oh no!
Oh, it's Ben wagging the finger.
Wait, didn't it happen? Wait, huh? Wasn't Kimi's team? Wasn't the freighter involved in this all happening and having to move the island because
Of
Jacob
course.
Okay, so Ben's lying. Oh, I
It's
didn't
bullshit.
think about that.
Yeah.
All right, he's adding on the guilt.
Classic Ben manipulating Jack. Yeah, well, I have a lawyer.
I've got this supernatural plan called Council.
Who? Oh, that guy?
That guy I killed that I'm not telling you about?
Yeah, I mean, you know. Oh, he's so lying. I mean, this part's true, but
Yeah. That's why it's a great lie, because, you got to have a little bit of the truth mixed in.
yeah. They already talked about this. He already said what he said, and now he's gonna say another version, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They die too. Okay. If I didn't come back. All right. I'm just going to file that away for when we actually hear him.
Because you don't know either, Ben. Do
Yeah,
you
no.
know?
I don't think he does.
Okay, he's saying he doesn't know.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way he could know at this point.
And then we flash 3 years. Okay. Could be
Yeah. I guess we're going to see what happened, or are we going to... we can't follow Ben here. We already did that. That was like their intro to what happened on the island. I guess we are going to see this.
I think so.
Wow. Random red shirts.
Mm-hmm. Push that donkey wheel.
You're not pushing it right.
The polar bears could do it.
And Locke's not the leader anymore.
It was a nice 20 minutes while it lasted. Oh, they're all gone. That's right. Oh,
That's it.
man.
That
That's
was
all
it.
you get.
That was his reign. He's
I
like the
hope you
William
enjoyed-
Henry Harrison of Others Leaders.
Oh wow, take that. Then these guys, okay,
Yeah.
Frogurt.
Oh, fucking Frogurt! I forgot he was there.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst.
What? How does
Yeah.
he even know about this? What is he talking about?
The radius. Come on, the barrier, the bearing. He knows about that.
But he doesn't know. Does he know the island was going to be moved?
Oh, fuck no.
Then what is he talking? What is?
They were inside the radius. Yeah, you're right. It makes no sense.
There needs some context there. Yeah.
He should know about a radius, but yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's like he knows they time traveled already. Black smoke.
Well, I jumped out with no gas falling in the sky. No, maybe.
Oh no.
Oh, that's right. She's right there.
Yeah, where were you?
Echoes Church.
They were just all like, oh, I guess they just didn't get evacuated. I guess that's supposed to be what happened. There is no camp. Yikes.
I've got to go back to listen to our podcast and see what we thought was happening here. Because I'm like, what happened? What am I thinking here?
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got answers. Yeah, he knew it already, apparently.
He hasn't met Dan yet?
He was at the other place, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again.
He figured it out immediately, apparently.
He should have no...
Yeah.
Unless this has to do with his journal.
Yeah.
Oh, he even knows when they are.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it is actually a lot worse.
Choo Choo Tunnel. Is this Choo Choo Tunnel?
Is this Choo Choo Tunnel? This is this episode?
This is Choo Choo Tunnel.
Oh my god.
This is it.
That's it.
Oh no!
No.
Oh no! Choo Choo gonna get killed.
Choo Choo's dead.
What does that mean? What a dark thing to say.
I know. And she
Choo-Choo's
said
gonna-
it like it was light fun.
Well, and he's just saying what's happening on the screen, and she's like, "No, that cartoon train knows better than to do that." What? Wow. All right, here's Ben's guys.
Of course. He just announced that he had a plan for Kate, so
Mhm.
I feel like
Yeah.
the connection should have been clear,
Yep.
but I don't think I guessed it until the famous, "Hey, that's my lawyer."
Yeah, I agree. And they know something no one should know but Ben, you know.
Yeah, yeah. The misdirection is that it's Claire's mother, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why it's convincing.
That is not how these things work.
All right, time to run.
She already has a backpack.
Classic Kate.
Mm-hmm. Gotta run. Can't fight this.
Nope. No legal battles for me.
I promised if I ever got off the island, I wouldn't be in one more legal battle. Well, she was in one, but still.
Oh, she had money stashed.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're going in Choo Choo Tunnel.
Remember that thing about Choo Choo Tunnel? That shit's gonna get real.
I'm the tunnel. Was that supposed to be like you can't go back to the island? Is that idea? Like going back, like going in the tunnels, like going back to the island? Like is that what she's
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah.
Say bye bye? Wow. That's dramatic. Sawyer's got no shoes, no shirt. He could
Mhm.
not get service at 7-Eleven. Mm-hmm. So what Cassidy's gonna say.
Oops. That's gonna be a big deal at the end of the season.
Oh man. Yeah, he can't walk faster with no shoes. Give me your shirt. I
Give me
remember
your
that.
shirt.
First things first, you go without a shirt. That's such a weird demand.
He doesn't need the technical details. There you go.
I'm just gonna start because it's the '70s, so you can just slap people around. That's just happened.
I can slap anyone I want. Here we go.
So he did know about that.
How did he know about that?
Somebody must have told him Ben was trying to move the island or something.
Who the fuck told him?
I don't know.
There was a lot of people went to the helicopter. Like they didn't talk to him.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We have to talk about that.
Holy shit.
Why would he think that? Oh, thank you, Claire.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot about Claire.
Oh, Locke, this is your life.
Claire did not time travel for mysterious reasons. I guess the others not time traveling was also for mysterious reasons. It's like a selective time travel. What?
Why did anybody time travel?
Well, yeah, I agree. But it just seems like if they would be all or nothing. Like,
yeah.
It's weird that it's like, just these people. But I guess that's part of the thing this season. Oh, he's going to witness this.
I forgot he witnesses. This is Yimmy's plane crash, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he dreamed about this. And then he actually sees it.
Yeah, wow.
That's so crazy. I forgot that he... Wow.
I forgot about this, yeah. And this is the proof. So he didn't actually have to go to the wreckage and relive all that. He can just get the proof here for us. There's drugs in that. Charlie's like, hey, brother, give me some of them drugs.
Zombie Charlie wants a fix.
No, but what does Locke think, right? Like, he can't think that that was Yimmy's plane. Is he going to go? Is he going towards it? Well, it's a big assumption just because he sees a plane with... I mean, maybe it's a big assumption, but
he did.
Oh, he does
Locke. Okay. He went there. Locke, unlike certain other people, he was there with Ben, and Ben did say that the video meant time traveling bunnies, so he at least has time travel in his head.
Yeah.
Like Faraday, I don't even know.
It's interesting to see the plane look so new.
It's really weird. I guess they're all just dead already.
Who's dead already?
The people in the plane. What's gonna happen here? I already forgot.
I don't know. I feel like they're not. I feel like he gets something.
Is Ethan gonna show up?
Oh, he falls. I think he doesn't. He just fall.
He's gonna fall again.
Oh, he did that last time.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. That's what happens. Yes, that's right. I knew it was another leg thing.
Yeah, he has to fall. It's just like fate. It's
like, can I walk?
Oh God, not again!
I know.
Stop injuring your legs.
So who shot him?
Is that Ethan? Am I crazy?
Oh, you're right. It is Ethan because he's time
That's
traveling.
what I have in my head.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. So they're not in the 70s yet.
clearly. No, it's a
Oh,
while
this
before
is
they get
Jimmy's
to the
Crash. So this
70s.
was in the 90s.
Yeah.
You're Tom Cruise's cousin. Lil Ben? The boy I rescued? Because don't forget he's going to rescue Ben.
I forgot about that. Yeah, time travel saved him.
So Ethan just forgot that that happened to him when in season 1 when he's infiltrating,
That's
the
what they would have us
lofties.
believe. I guess. I mean, that becomes the problem. You know, Rousseau and Jin has a similar problem. I mean, I guess Rousseau was crazy, so maybe it works better. But yeah, I guess we're supposed to believe he forgot about it. There's gonna be another thing like that coming up real soon. If it's in this episode. Oh boy. Thanks, Faraday.
That
But what
didn't
if we're
help
in
at
the
all.
present?
Yeah, what if we came back to when we left? Mm. Nothing's wrong. This happens all the time.
Normal.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I remember
I
this.
do too. Man, he's got a lot of pull here.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in this airport is under my
Yeah, I don't, did
employ.
he earn? Did he buy the airport?
I bought the airport so we could have a meeting.
Yeah, I feel like she's trying to like turn the tables and
Mm-hmm.
that means we have stock in the same company.
There it is.
Uh-huh. Now your move.
I'm now wondering, how does she know Ben left?
I don't know if she knows that Ben left. I think that she just wants to kill Ben.
But she said we're not the only ones who left the island, and
Oh,
then she follows it up with, "I want to
I
kill
missed that.
Ben."
I missed the first part.
Well, she didn't say that in this episode, but she said that at the end of last season.
She said someone we're not the only ones who left. Yeah.
Yeah, that was her. That was her closing line. It was
Maybe
in the
she
previous
knew that.
season.
Yeah, good call. I don't remember off the top of my
And
head.
that makes me think that she knew Ben left the island, which is true, but I have no idea how she knew that. Unless Ben contacted her, and we just
Or
haven't
maybe
seen it
Locke.
yet.
Maybe no. Locke. Does Locke ever talk to her before he dies?
No, Locke doesn't go to see him because of the whole Jin thing. You know, Jin gives him the ring and tells him not to. You know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. All right.
Oh, I remember this. Holy shit! All these scenes are in this. It's so disjointed. This episode. There's like a lot of
Hmm.
stuff going on. I
Yeah.
think that's why. I didn't remember that this is all packed into one episode.
He could have been a police officer for all I know.
I don't care. Yeah, we're done saying Bentham.
But we still don't know why he has that name, right?
Right.
When you become so paranoid? He was been paranoid since day fucking one.
It's
What are you
true.
talking about? Oh, you should have seen The Economist. Oh no.
I know. If like absolute advice like that is always like
Especially coming from a person who's following him and doing what he wants.
I know. These fucking guys.
Right?
Oh my god.
Jeez. Hope there's not a second person. Uh-oh.
It does seem like unless those are tranquilizer darts.
I think they're supposed to be trank darts.
Are they trank darts?
Yeah, because it's not, I don't know, or it's got a silencer. It sounds, it sounds like, yeah, he got hit.
It was dart. There it is.
Yeah, it's a trank dart.
All right. So what's the plan? Kidnap him and then like what?
I don't know. Whose plan is this?
I don't know. Who are these people?
I mean, Ben is the only one involved, but oh no.
Yeah, I remember that. Like knife points up.
Yeah, no one puts their knives in the dishwasher like that. Like nobody.
Definitely a classic Saeed moment.
Oh no, Hurley, don't get recorded on film.
I know. Holding the gun.
He looks so bad. Oh no! And the guy didn't even get shot.
I know. That does look like a gun with a silencer. All right, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be shooting tranks.
Oh right, okay. Saeed's passed out, so now like Hurley's gotta.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like it should be in the lie. I think that's why I'm like confused.
Mm. Hmm.
Winmore.
The first time?
Yeah, and 20 years is more like
since he left and sent them with the freighter. Okay.
12-ish. But hey, he rounds up.
Well, like going in, I think.
Thanks for the exposition.
I need a shirt.
Plus, other Sawyer's gonna be there.
That's true.
Yeah, but that didn't happen. Plus, there are rules.
I mean, you maybe can. I'll think about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you can't.
I'm gonna think about it really hard.
Mm-hmm.
But now, actually, this theory is closer to correct.
Yeah.
Should have stuck with the original theory.
Oh, that'll be an episode title later.
Mm-hmm. Because I have a journal.
Because whatever happened actually happened.
Here it is!
This is it.
Wow.
And it's all in these 60 pages.
Here it is. About the Dharma Initiative. I still find that strange.
Yeah. Because it didn't start with Dharma.
Yeah.
My mother. Oh. Oh man.
Locke apparently, which is true, but I don't know why he would know that. Maybe he
Oh, the
doesn't know
plane
that.
has since fallen.
Oh, is that who's
I guess
that?
they flash, so he's in the future, and the plane has now fallen.
Oh, is there? I thought there was someone else there for a second.
I
Is
don't
there
think
someone
so.
else there? It's just Locke.
Yeah, it's just like.
Okay, all right. I think they just cut to his legs and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, Locke can't
Hobbling
walk.
around.
Jeez, what a leader.
We're really watching his final days here.
Mm-hmm.
It's really strange because you don't think that at the time.
Even though it starts with him in a funeral casket.
Good point. Good point. But he comes back to life, right? I mean,
Oh man.
that's what's supposed to happen, to
Mm-hmm.
fulfill his destiny.
So this is probably a good example to him that he's time traveling. He sees the decayed bodies and the plane on the
Yeah.
ground. So
Yeah. Yeah.
every time
Ethan.
he comes to this wreckage, he leaves unable to walk.
So true. So true. Oh shit! This thing is gonna happen.
This is Richard, right?
This is huge. Yeah. And this is part of the plan. The
This
fucking
is
man in black Locke just
this
sent
is
him over. He's in the
all
future.
he's in the future.
Holy shit. We're already in the future.
This is it. This is the loophole happening
This is
here.
the loophole, yeah. Episode 1, we're in the future.
Episode 1.
Wow. I forgot this happened so fast. Holy shit. What are they going to do for the rest of the season?
Dilly dally.
So true. Richard seems like he knows so much, but the man in black just told him what to say.
Yeah. And he's not here of his own accord. Like,
Nope.
he's not here because Locke is the real leader.
Nope.
He's not here, oh.
Yeah, it's so misleading.
And wasn't it Christian who told him to come do this?
No, it's Locke.
Oh, it's Locke. It's Locke is
Yeah.
Man in Black.
Locke is
That's
man in
right.
black,
That's
yeah.
right.
It's late. It's some late stuff.
It's true.
Yeah, he just said it. You will.
Why did he put on his glasses? Aren't those like reading glasses?
Surgery glasses.
Oh, classic surgery glasses.
Oh my god, that's so much like Leftovers. Like, no, I didn't go. You departed.
Wow. I love the showing it to you, him, here, I proved it. You had a
Mm-hmm.
bullet in you. Look at it. You do, you so do.
I do not know how the Man in Black knew he would end
I
up
just
here.
was I was just thinking, how does he know Locke's gonna be here now?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I think my
Oh
best.
my god.
Yeah.
My
Towards
god.
north.
So Richard knows that Locke in the future is gonna go to his past.
Yep.
Oh no.
Here it is.
So this is where it comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, there it
Wow.
is.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost the craziest 30 seconds of Lost. I mean, there's some other contenders for sure, but for just
Yeah.
regular sort of drama, like that's a pretty crazy
Totally
context of
insane.
30 seconds.
I think the theory I came up with later was that the Man in Black scanned the dead body and he was able to figure out from the memories. But I mean, that doesn't really make sense because then Locke would have to know himself where he was and when. But that was the best theory about how he knew Locke would be there, you know? Because that was technically a memory.
Yeah.
Even though it happened in the future.
But his memory would not have been of Richard coming to see him because Richard hadn't seen him. Well, I mean, obviously with time travel.
Yeah, that's where it gets weird. I mean, but the loophole
Yeah.
definitely involves time travel manipulation. So
that's right. So Richard was always there because
Richard was always there.
Yeah. It was a science experiment.
Season 2. Check it out.
On Blu-ray now.
Oops. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Maybe this is what I was expecting. Bitch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Maybe it's under this brush.
And it's actually a hatch.
So they went back in time, forward in time, now back further in time.
Yeah, yeah. I guess he set it up like we're either in the past or the future, and it turned out they were in the future.
But you don't know who's in there. Well, I guess you know Desmond's in there.
I love that there's just a back door that they could have, like, they spent all that trouble.
Yep. Looking at the secret door opening instead of going to the back door. Which is, the back door is really the front door.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, Ethan
How did
didn't
he
know
know
us
Desmond
either.
didn't know him when he... What? Oh, that's right. This is proving the point.
Yep. The ghost of Christmas future.
See, this is the thing. This is why he's wrong about whatever happened. Because they're in the past, but it's still their present. So they should be able to affect things. Because this is still their present.
True. But I guess, you know, this stuff already happened from the point of view of overall time.
But I mean, but that's the thing, like, they're still affecting things. They just...
Yeah.
The effect isn't what they want it to be, right? Like they're still having this conversation in their present, but in the context of the past, they're also having this conversation.
Right.
Right? So they are affecting things.
True. But I guess the effect already happened.
Yeah, you can't create... You're not adding new effects.
Yeah, but it's true that you do affect things.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, I mean, we see that happen many times where they affect things while time traveling.
Oh, this!
Right.
What? Ugh. Since I was on the island. This is what I act like when people are fine.
Yeah. This is my, like, fine voice.
This is my fine nervous twitch. Oh, she said it.
Oh, he's gonna talk to Desmond.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which
because that can happen.
Have already met at this point.
Yeah.
Get out that journal.
Yeah, what's the journal say? What's the journal say? Equation.
Something about Dharma. Logo. What do you got? Desmond will be my constant. What's it gonna be?
Oh no.
Oh, I remember what he's gonna say. This is so weird, but I guess this is where like the Desmond trump card comes into play. You can just Desmond can break rules.
Mm-hmm.
And why aren't you wearing a suit?
And why don't I remember you? Uh-oh, what did
Oh
one snowman say to
wow.
the other? Oh, he hasn't done the constant yet. So Desmond doesn't
I feel like he should
know.
remember it though, because it was technically the past, but maybe because it's Desmond, somehow it didn't work that way. Because he doesn't seem to
Because it's.
recognize him.
I'm confused.
The rules don't apply to you. There it is.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. That's a crazy thing. Like he somehow has a dream about that in the future slash present.
Well, I don't think it's a dream. I think he just it was like a memory was created because Dan, in sort of Dan's perspective, he just made
Oh,
that
okay.
event
Well,
happen. So
yeah. He
now
just he
he
yeah.
yeah, he a memory just manifested he didn't he should have always had,
But the rules don't apply. I think that's
but
why
it
that
just sort
line's
of
there.
propagated to him now, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a dream. Okay, fine. Whatever you say, Desmond.
It
There
wasn't
you
that.
go.
Yeah.
Illustrating your point. Literally. I gotta go find somebody.
But didn't Desmond already meet Daniel Faraday?
Yeah. I mean, this Desmond should definitely know him.
But do we, I don't even remember now how it even worked out. Oh, that's the end?
That was the end. Oxford, the end.
All right. Yeah, I don't even remember the timeline of events with the constant. So,
I mean, the problem with the constant is that, there was that, like, consciousness travel.
yeah.
So, maybe because that's the way it worked and it wasn't literal time travel, like, the
I think that's why
Desmonds.
he's special. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the idea, right?
Yeah, so the Desmond in the hatch did not remember, or in the Swan Station, did not remember meeting Faraday before. Because that was like the old consciousness Desmond, and it was the new consciousness Desmond that actually interacted with Faraday in the past. I guess that's my explanation.
Hmm.
And so he didn't remember it until Faraday made the new memory, and the only reason he could do that is because the rules don't apply to Desmond. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. And maybe Desmond, the consciousness traveling is. I guess that's the question: is the rules don't apply just because he's Desmond, or because he's
Uniquely and
been
miraculously
exposed?
special. I don't
Technical,
know. It's in the
technical term.
journal. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's like what created the specialness,
Yeah, it's not clear. It does seem like, I don't know. It seems to me like the Swan Station like implosion should have done it,
Mm-hmm.
but then
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of like a chicken and the egg thing, because you could also say the reason why he survived that is because he was special already.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Otherwise, it could be like a superhero origin story. But there's no clear evidence that there was anything special or crazy about Desmond's life before he came to the island, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unlike, well, no, that's not true. I mean, I think the same is true for Hurley. Although there was the Dave thing, and in the case of Miles, he was on the island before.
Yep. And
So
Charlotte was on the island before, but she's got no special powers except a British
true.
accent.
which has its don't dilly dally.
Mm-hmm. What an interesting episode.
It was all over the place.
All over the place. I mean, they didn't even get back to the first scene with Chang and Dan. So
they're not going to get back to that it's going to be about, I don't know, 7 episodes or something. It takes forever.
They love setting that. They love setting up the goalpost that's way down the highway, and then they'll eventually get to it.
Yeah.
And you forgot that's what it was leading up to until they get back to it, and you go, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Now, I remember reading, I hope I'm right about this. I hope I didn't make this up. I remember reading that there was a bit of a back and forth about how to open up the season. And the other option that I think maybe they were originally going to do was opening up with Locke still alive on the island. Like, the scene that we're going to see, I think in, like, episode 7, the one where we find out that Locke quote unquote came back to life.
Mm-hmm.
When he crashed in the Ajir plane.
Okay.
I think they were originally going to open the season with that, and then change to this.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's kind of interesting trivia. In terms of the overall story, I would say that's probably the more significant element. Obviously, the time travel stuff is very significant for this season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think since that's the focus of this season, maybe it is better that this ties into this season per se as opposed to, the overall show. So maybe that's why they chose to do that. But yeah, I think I think it's an interesting place to open. It raised a lot of questions. As soon as we see that time travel's happening, I would expect that even back in the day when we originally podcasted about this, that we could have the theory that as soon as you open up the door for time travel, and they even reference time travel in that scene, the first scene, I feel like you can jump to the conclusion that, well, at some point, they time travel to the period when Dharma's still active and infiltrate Dharma or something. It's you can kind of, I think, connect those dots already from what we know.
Literally, you just put on a hard hat and you can be a Dharma crew member.
That's it.
That's all you gotta do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the question becomes, like, what are they doing and why? Like, what's the overall story there? What are they trying to accomplish?
So I'm on our Lost Lowdown forum, TLLD.net, the center of the internet. And I was just looking through some of the posts for this episode.
Oh, nice.
And here's an interesting question from the Radio Tower. This is a theory they heard somewhere else, what they're posting, and it says, does this, because we talked about this in this podcast, does Locke getting shot by Ethan near the plane in this episode explain why in Deus Ex Machina, when he was near the plane, and his leg stopped working?
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah, that theory. Yeah, that's so weird. Some kind of like future memory.
This said, the same thing. It said, could that dream have been a Desmond-esque memory as a result of time travel and the events we saw in the episode? So it's interesting. I don't want to give them that much credit, but that's an interesting idea.
It is an interesting idea. Very strange. I don't think we ever really got a concrete explanation. I mean, I remember, throwing out the smoke monster theory, like the smoke monster, like, disabled his legs.
And there's the other part is if this might also explain in Locke's dream in question mark when he falls from the cliff trying to reach the plane.
Oh yeah,
So when
right.
Ethan shoots him, he falls off the little vines. So maybe that was
Yeah,
connected.
right, 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 right. In Locke's dream, he was Echo,
Hmm.
if I remember right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So it was Echo falling, but it was actually Locke's dream.
AKA future memory.
Okay, future memory. Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, clearly they're at least like at the bare minimum, I would say that it's a reference.
Hmm.
It seems clearly connected to those things. Like they're they like sort of referencing earlier things or yeah, calling back um, to some particular element that they explored before. So I think at the very least they wanted you to think about the past there. So that makes sense. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's weird. It's weird that Locke's legs have like Desmond like power. But Locke himself seemingly doesn't. Like the brain doesn't really work that way.
Oh wow, Choo Choo Tunnel. We have a whole comment thread about Choo Choo
Whole thread
Tunnel.
about Choo Choo Tunnel.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh, did we see the box in this one?
Apparently there's a box, Ben's box, which I forgot about. I didn't even notice in the scene.
Yeah, what I was that in this one?
Well, these comments suggest that it's in this scene, but maybe
But
it's in.
they aired together,
Yeah, maybe it
so
is in You Lie.
it makes me think because I was
Or they
waiting for
lie,
Ben's
the
mystery
lie.
box because Ben's mystery box is one of those like dropped threads that I wanted to complain about, but I didn't see it. I don't think we
Mm-mm.
saw it. Am I crazy?
I'm gonna look it real quick in the video and see if I can find that scene.
Yeah, there's not that many scenes with Ben, so
Yeah, no, I think I just passed it, but I don't think we see him get the box because we do see them at the hotel.
yeah, I feel like that's gonna be in the lie.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jack's getting cleaned up, takes off the fake beard. Ben's packing his suit or something. Yeah, I don't think this is it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can. Well, is that even gonna say? I don't know the best way to look for this.
No,
Oh
it's
no, I
not.
think I can do it. Let's see. Yeah.
No, it wasn't in that scene. And I think that's the only scene of them in the hotel.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's in the next one.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Okay. Yeah. Cause yeah. I remember thinking of them together. So. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Find out about that mysterious box that they just were like, fuck the box. We're done.
John, it's a metaphor. Get over it.
All right, let's see. Yeah, my search for box came up with nothing. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's in the lie. Yeah. In a hotel room, Ben is seen taking something out of a vent space and placing it in his bag without Jack noticing. Yeah. So we'll see that when we get to the lie.
I don't remember what's in it.
We never find out. It's never referenced again.
Well, I'm glad I didn't know what was in it. Well, I'm 100% sure it was his car keys. Yeah. Okay, well, that's why I don't remember.
It's one of those drop threads where it's like, I guess they thought, let's put this
Oh,
box
that's
in
the one you
here.
meant they dropped. Sorry, I thought you meant the box. It was the metaphor they dropped. That's why I referenced that.
Oh,
The other box.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. The literal one.
the literal box.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, yeah, I remember speculating about it because it was clearly set up as like a question, what is this thing? And it's just, I don't know if they had a plan and decided not to go with it, or if they just threw out Box and thought like we'll do something with it later and never came up with anything.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the story is with that. Because it's bizarre. It's just bizarre. Why
It's a
even
pretty
show
weird
that?
one. That is a pretty weird one.
But yeah, what else do we have here?
Apparently, we did some promos for the Oxford Library in our original podcast.
We did?
Yeah. Several promos for the Oxford Library, so I got to go listen to that at some point.
What the fuck? I don't remember that at all. Yeah.
It must have been because Desmond's like, we're going to Oxford.
Oxford, yeah, of course. Oxford Library promos. They don't need promos.
They don't. Everyone knows about them. Actually, that's interesting. So, because I was looking at this thread about the plane landing, and so I'm just trying to think. Does that mean that? So Locke is time traveling, but he's time traveling wherever the island was at that point. He's back in that time. So if the island was near Nigeria when the plane was landing, right? So even though the island moved in the present timeline, but then they started time traveling, so they're not where the island is in the present.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct, which is confusing.
Yeah, it's really confusing.
Yeah, it's sort of like, and that, you know, when you get back to the donkey wheel, like, it gets extra confusing. It's like, the donkey wheel's off the axis on the time-traveling island, which is sort of weird, because it seems like it should have been on the island where it was turned originally, right? Because that's the one that, you know, like, ugh.
Well, that means that the donkey wheel that's off the axis time travel too.
Right.
So...
And there's like an original donkey wheel, or a sort of alternate donkey wheel that's fine on the original one. But it's just weird that the donkey wheel would replicate, you know, whereas they don't replicate, you know, they disappear. You know, you would think the donkey wheel would disappear or something. Maybe it disappeared. I guess I can't definitively say that it didn't disappear.
The donkey wheel's time traveling as well.
So it's gone, like, from the current day island. There's just no donkey wheel there anymore.
Yes. Does that solve it? Does that make it better?
It does, actually. I think that works. It's just weird, but I think it's true that... Let me see. I want to make sure I'm right. I don't think we go back to the donkey wheel after, you know, Locke goes down there.
I think that's right.
Later this season. So I guess we can't prove that the donkey wheel was still there at the end of the show. I mean, we see it in Across the Sea, but that's, you know, it's flashback, obviously. So, yeah, I'm going to say the donkey wheel disappeared. That's really weird, though.
I think it donkey-peered.
Exactly.
yeah,
They're talking about this in the temporal motion thread.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's the island or the people, it's a whole thing. They even brought that up.
Yep.
In the actual show.
Wow, this was yeah, and I guess it makes sense that it's time traveling to points in the show we've seen before or known about.
Yeah. It works better for us that way. Oh man, it'd be great if they could time travel to Across the Sea.
Oh no.
Don't listen.
And then there's that question of like, why is the time traveling happening? You know, like, does it always happen when you move the island? You know, why? How did Ben turn it wrong? somehow Man in
Yeah.
Black knew he was gonna do it wrong. Like
Right.
it's just there's so many different issues with that donkey wheel.
Yeah, the document's a mess. I was also thinking, like, in terms of, Locke said that. And Jack changed his story this time. What did he say? Locke said, like, if if we don't go back, they're all gonna die. Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was something like that. Like we're in trouble. They'll be in trouble if we don't go back. It was a little bit different than what he said last time.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is. Sorry, Juliet. They die. They die too if I didn't come back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's the claim this time. Last time the claim was I forget now. I forget. It was like a lot of bad stuff happened, and it was
Mm-hmm.
all your fault.
Yeah, it was like more generic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and they're kind of changing the story, and I don't know if either thing is true. Like,
No, it's all manipulation. Like,
yeah.
right? Like none of that is sort of true.
Oh, here it
I mean,
is.
bad things do continue to happen to those people.
After I left the island, some very bad things happened, and it was my fault for leaving, and I had to come back. It's like not exactly, it's not a million miles away. It's
Mm-hmm.
sort of along the same lines, but not quite. And I don't even think either thing is true.
Well, no, because that's just what he was told. I mean that those ideas come from Ben vis-a-vis, not vis-a-vis, but or does vis-a-vis work? Yeah, vis-a-vis works. Maybe. I'm gonna say it anyway. Vis-a-vis Man in Black. Um,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I think
that's
you
what
mean
those like.
Via.
Oh, that do mean Via. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Via works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean it's all manipulation. Like it's all a guilt machine of like
Right,
everything that bad, it's because you didn't do this thing I want you to do, which is to come back. And
right,
even Richard, when he goes to see Locke, he's like, you have to give it. Yes, they did get off the island, the helicopter was fine, but now that they're all fine, you need to get them back here, and the only way to do that is for you to die. And I think that's such an interesting thing that they had. They have that line that Locke needs to die this early,
yeah,
versus Locke failing to convince him to come back, and then at that point he's told, "Okay, well, the only thing for you to
right,
do is to die now," and then then it sort of works that way. But like from
right,
the very beginning, he's told that this is a martyr mission.
right, right. Yeah. Which is it's a little strange. I mean, he's not really told how. I can't wait till we get to the life and death of Jeremy Bentham. I really want to hear just word for word because I don't remember what he actually says to Jack and how that lines up with
Hmm.
any of this. But like my new interpretation, because I'm thinking in terms of I know that Locke leaves. Um, because the rapid time travel, everyone starts having the same effect that Charlotte is exhibiting in this episode. Where they get the nosebleed, and
Hmm.
she eventually dies. Spoiler alert.
Hmm.
Um, and so Locke goes to turn the donkey wheel, and he finds out it's off the axis, and it seems like that should be the fix. So and it is right. They don't die after that. I mean, they're stuck in the 70s, but like they're fine
Hmm.
basically. And so Jack coming back or leaving, I mean, it had nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's just wrong. It's wrong even from the point of view of Locke. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I
Yeah, it's
don't
just
think
all
he's supposed to
manipulation.
be lying. So it's sort of yeah. I don't know. I guess yeah, we'll see what he actually says when the time comes and how much of it is Jack's like weird like guilty
Well,
memory.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's just, again, it's like when, Locke's death is somehow makes people be convinced about certain things. It's
Yeah.
just this idea of like, well, we're supposed to do this thing. Somebody in a weird situation told me this was supposed to happen, and therefore the weird situation, makes them seem more credible.
Yeah. it's like this crazy old man told me some stuff, and now that crazy old man's dead. So
Hmm.
actually, it was all true.
So he must have been right. Everyone who
Yeah,
ever died was right about something.
yeah. I really don't get it. It's very strange.
Hmm.
It's very strange. I'm surprised they didn't. Um, I'm surprised they didn't lean a little bit more on the Jack's dad angle.
Hmm.
You know, as a motivation to go back. You know, because they drop it in, but it
They
doesn't
left.
seem like it's the primary motivation.
No, which is very weird. And maybe it's because if Christian did appear to Jack off the island, then they could just reconcile there or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird that Christian's not appearing to Jack all the time, saying you need to come back, you need to come
Yeah.
back. Like he's doing it indirectly.
Right. Right.
Which now it's like, well, okay, maybe he can't leave the island at a certain point, so that's why he's got to do it indirectly.
Right. Right. I think starting this season, I believe the rules are more or less um, in place. I don't
Mhm.
think we see the Man in Black exercising powers off the island anymore.
Yeah.
Um, it kind of changes. It becomes much more straightforward this season, much closer to what we know him as. You know, once
Hmm.
he really makes himself known in season 6, and it's just like he's just a guy who sometimes can be a smoke monster.
That's just it. What's so weird about that?
And he's got telekinesis, but he doesn't use it much, so it doesn't really matter.
Hmm.
And he can read minds, but he also doesn't use that very much. So
Nah.
don't worry about it.
Nah, he can send dreams, but that's kind of sparse too.
He's
So
kind of
don't
done with
worry about it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dreams aren't a big factor. Even Desmond's thing, no, it wasn't a dream. It was a memory.
Hmm. Wow.
Oxford. Yeah, that's kind of a weak ending, I think.
That's why they had 2 episodes at once.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just got a memory. Oh no. Was it a memory? I just got a memory of the original podcast,
Mm.
and I think we even said something along those lines, like if all we got was Oxford, and then we had to wait a week on that,
Yeah, that
it'd
sounds
be
like
like
us.
lame.
Hmm.
It's just not a punchy ending. Like they had some crazy shit happen this episode. Like for example, they could have closed on that Richard scene. That shit was crazy,
Yep.
as you mentioned.
Yep.
Candidate for one of the craziest lost scenes ever.
Just so much craziness is happening.
And yeah, it seems so mystical at the time. Like, holy shit. Like, Richard somehow understands that Locke's time traveling and he knows that he's got a mission. And it's like, it opens, like, it opens up all these possibilities that, the real explanation just seems so, it's weird how the Man in Black knows he's there, but in terms of, like, why he's saying what he's saying and stuff, it's so straightforward.
Hmm.
It's just like, here's the thing you say so that Locke will like do what I want.
Yeah.
And, go back and die and bring everyone back with his dead body.
And he's had a long time to plan this and figure
Yeah.
out exactly like what to say and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. He knows how Locke thinks. He knows the right buttons to push. You know, you got a mission, you got a purpose.
You're special.
You're special. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So Locke just went in the span of an hour. He went from I'm the new leader of the others after all this time
Yeah.
to I think I'm time traveling. I just saw Yimmy's plane.
Yeah.
To Ethan just shot me, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who I am, even though last time I saw him he was dead. And Richard appeared to me and told me now my new mission is to leave the island and go bring everybody back. And it's just like, and then what?
Yeah.
Am I the leader of the others again?
And then you have to die.
Oh no, that's I forgot.
Yeah, don't forget that
I
part.
forgot the big and
The
then
end.
what? The end. Yeah, that's and then what? Then you're dead. So that's all you. That's all you got to do, Locke. Bring everybody back to be tortured some more, and
Yeah,
then you can die.
yeah.
Please and thank you.
That is quite a journey for like, yeah, not that much screen time really,
Yeah,
because
and
there was a
it's
lot of
so
other
weird.
stuff going on.
It's so weird that that's Locke's. I mean, we talked about this. I guess towards the end of the series or the beginning of the commentary series, but this idea of Locke being like the main villain on the show, at least one of the main villains, you know what I mean, in terms of if you
Mm-hmm.
look at who antagonizes the main cast the most since the
Yeah.
beginning, Locke is up there,
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
and so this idea that he is really, his death and everything is responsible for them coming back to the island
Yep.
for more torture,
Yeah.
at the behest of the main villain on the show. So
Yeah.
Locke is in essence just like a henchman for Man in Black. He's an
Mm-hmm.
unwitting henchman.
Oh
Henchman.
yeah.
And it's so that's like, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. It is. I mean, the fact that he takes it a step further by then assuming Locke's form and
Hmm.
pretending like he's Locke
And
come back to
and
life.
then like, oh, then yeah, sullying his image and all the relationships that he had, and then Locke is sort of punished for it. He never gets any redemption after that. I mean, a little bit from Jack. This is for my friend Locke or whatever he
Right.
says when he
Right.
punches Man in Black Locke, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but besides that, there is no. I mean, just the most tragic figure ever written, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
like, and I feel like I've said this before, but I was like, even Don Quixote, like they were just windmills, but at least it was real. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like Locke is tragic because like everything that he went through, he was wrong about in some way. He didn't
They're
understand.
saying that like there weren't even any windmills there.
Yeah, there weren't even windmills. Like it's even worse. Yeah, it's
He
such a
made
strange.
up like windmills as like monsters, and there wasn't even.
Well, it's someone. It's not. He didn't convince himself there were dragons. From the windmills. He was told that and
Right.
believed it.
Right.
And it wasn't true at all,
Right.
and he got other people in danger with this like bad belief,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, in terms of like Saeed's death, Sun and Jin,
hmm.
you can trace that right back to, Locke, basically.
Wow, wow. Where
Yeah,
does it go wrong with him? I mean, geez. I mean,
Daddy, I don't know.
of course it's daddy issues.
That was certainly a big element.
Yeah. But he's sort of doomed anyway with the time travel, right? I mean, like Richard's there when he's young, and he's got all these expectations for him
Yeah,
before Locke even knows what's happening, and then, um, yeah, this idea of being told he's special just puts a seed in his
it's a
brain
huge
that ruins
problem.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even his mom did that.
Hmm.
Like, oh yeah, you have no father. I, I'm like the Virgin
And
Mary.
and that was just
What?
all manipulation. Yeah, and that's the thing he never learned is even when he's getting manipulated and he learns. I mean, right? That's really the core of his story is
Yeah,
him being manipulated by people in his life, and
definitely.
so by father figures,
One
really.
after another. Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's
he
been
didn't
for a
learn.
while too.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone who has the answers and anyone who can make him feel special,
Yeah,
and no matter what they do, he's always there to do their bidding because he wants that approval. And then he just, it destroys him, and he has no idea why.
yeah.
He didn't even by the end realize what his fatal flaw was.
No, of course not.
No, no.
I don't understand.
It's
And scene.
the saddest thing you can die
It's
thinking, I
really
think.
bad. It's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad because, like, if you compare it to Michael that we were talking about, I mean, he didn't know who Christian was. He didn't know what that meant, but he
Mm-hmm.
did at least understand.
Yeah.
There's a bomb here.
Well, he made a conscious choice to put his life
Yeah,
on the line to save people.
exactly.
And he understood why he was doing it, and
Yeah, and
yeah,
it
it's
was
completely
true.
different.
Like
Yeah,
it
it was
actually
true.
worked. He kept the thing from going off long enough for at least some people to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like there's a purpose there, and like it isn't just manipulation.
Yeah, Michael came back to redeem himself, and he was able. I mean, in a larger context, he was sort of able to do it. I mean, not everybody knows that he gave that sacrifice. A lot of
Right,
people didn't even know he was on the boat,
right.
but objectively, yeah, he did sort of redeem himself a little bit, with one final little mission. Um, but yeah, with Locke, it's just so crazy for him to not only be clueless, to not only be manipulated and to be just used so blatantly, but also to be antagonistic towards the other people,
Yeah,
to cause problems for other people in that context too,
right.
It's pretty crazy.
It's totally crazy. It's totally crazy. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get that there's like a kind of a logic to the story, but if you kind of don't think about the world of the show too much and you just kind of step back from Locke's story, I mean, a lot of the stuff he does look like the actions of an insane person. You
Blowing up the
know? Yeah.
submarine, like,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
just
like, yeah, I'm gonna go meet this like mysterious character in a cabin and he's gonna tell me how to save the island. Like, what?
mm-hmm,
You're gonna do
mm-hmm.
what?
Why won't this character save the island himself?
Yeah.
Why do I have to do it? He's got all the power.
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm special.
Yeah, that's what he told me. That's why I think that.
I feel like it's like be wary of the person who tells you you're special and then has some plans for you,
Yes. He really should have learned that lesson, and it's so frustrating that he never does. It doesn't seem like he makes any progress
His
up to the
entire
last
life.
minute.
His
Ben does the
entire
same
life,
thing.
his entire life before the island should have primed him
Yeah.
for his major hurdle on the island, which was the belief that he's special and
Yeah.
believing just a blind belief in whatever's happening,
Yeah.
whatever people are telling him. And it's like he had the perfect history, but that's the point is he didn't learn anything from that because he
Yeah.
was in denial about it.
Yeah, which is just so crazy. Like if you compare, like I mean, Jack gets an arc. He gets to kind of progress as a character from
Hmm.
his flaws. I mean, it would be fine if Locke, falls into his own patterns, like because it is like a problem that he has. But you would think over the course of the show he would progress, and that's really the thing about Man in Black coming back that to me feels like the most insulting. He pretends like he's Locke, having
Yep.
moved on from his problems.
Yep,
You
yep. He
know?
seems to be finally evolved, and
Yeah,
he's Locke fully realized, and he's
yeah.
everything he wanted to be. He's leading everybody, and he's got the plans, and he's got the knowledge, but it's not him.
Meanwhile, the
Because
whole time he's thinking Locke, what a fucking sucker! Holy shit.
wow, yeah, it's a big insult.
He's
It's
like
pretty
mocking him the whole
yeah,
time. It's
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And Locke has no idea.
No, I don't think he ever even knew that happened.
And that makes it even worse,
It
right?
is
Like
worse.
it would be torture if he did even know it
Yeah,
happened. But it's sort of even worse that like that oh man that the villain like sullied his personage,
yeah.
all that time and tortured his friends some more, and he just had no idea it
No.
happened because I was dead. I was too
Yeah,
busy being
I was already
dead.
dead. What do you want?
I couldn't even get trapped on the island like Michael. Like I'm not even special
Nope.
enough to like get trapped on the island and be aware of certain things and
Yeah.
be able to eavesdrop and
I guess
whisper.
Michael actually knew about it, and yeah, Locke. I mean, that is one thing he has over Locke.
It's really crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's how you know that, to whatever extent Michael's character was punished because he killed Ana Lucia and Libby. I feel like Locke was punished because of his antagonism towards the Losties. Even though,
Yeah.
even though his antagonism is based on his blind faith in the
Right.
island.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
he's being punished for believing in everything the island stands for,
Yeah. Yeah.
which should have been the thing to do, but it was the wrong thing to do
Yeah.
because the island doesn't stand for anything. It's
No.
just an island,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah. You're just serving the agenda of people on
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
not actually, you know, the island doesn't care about you.
The island is just, rocks and dirt and plants and
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
Like it's not a conscious being.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's the cave, there's some power there, there's the donkey wheel, but
Yeah.
none of those things care about people,
No.
They just,
No.
they're just like energy, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like however you want to.
Yeah, what does an electron think of me? Like
Yeah. No, I remember in season 6 when little boy Jacob comes back.
oh no.
I remember thinking like, oh, maybe the island, because the island was personified, and they speak on the show as though the island does
Mm-hmm.
have like some kind of personality, some kind of particular point of view about what the character should do, and like it wants things and it doesn't
Yeah.
want other things, and everybody talks that way for so long, and it's really a while before, and I wasn't giving up on it until really late in the show. As soon as we found out that boy was Jacob, it was like, well, okay, there it goes.
Yeah.
No island. The island doesn't care about anything. It's the people on it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people who care about things.
Yeah, it's the same way that the smoke monster ended up getting its own identity as Man in Black. The island is really, depending on what you're talking about, it's either Jacob or Man in Black,
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just
that's pretty much what it was every time
yeah.
that anyone said the island. The island wants.
The island wants this,
This.
the island wants that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
the
it's like,
island didn't
so
want you to
what?
leave.
Why do we have to listen to the island?
Yeah.
Who put the island in charge? What about North America? That's a bigger island. What does North America want? Is it done with us? Does it want us to come back? No one's asking that question.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, I know. And I mean, even like Jacob's big scene with Richard when he's explaining what the island is,
Mm-hmm.
he's never like, and also it has a plan for you.
Yeah. He doesn't say that. He's not thinking of the island as a thing that thinks and feels.
Yeah, with like consciousness and stuff. It's like, no, it's like it's a force, it's a sort of, I mean, it's basically a place. I mean, what do you want? What do you want a place to think about you?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, jeez. Gotta love it.
But hey, I mean, I bought into it too, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just as bad as Locke. I guess, like, in my most, if I'm being totally honest, probably part of my frustration with the Locke plot is that I bought into the bullshit he bought into.
Yep.
To an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when Richard came, I believed it,
Yep.
Like, oh, it's a mission. He has to die. Oh, cool. It's like, it's a destiny, and when Locke comes back to life, it's like, yeah, this is all part of the plan,
It's like, yeah, destiny is just what someone in the future told you need to do.
Exactly. A future where it's already happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
God
It's
damn
just
it.
destiny is just someone in the future who knows the past. Like that's all that is.
You have to die because you're in a coffin over there right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it brought everyone back to the island, so therefore
Yep.
this is a thing that has to happen to get everyone back to the island. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're in a coffin over here. Oh, geez.
Literally.
Wearing
Like,
Jack's dad shoes.
yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. If he could have gone over to Hydra Island, he should have been able to see his own dead body.
Wow.
Not to mention the fucking Man in Black's like around the corner.
Yep. Yep.
As
With
Locke.
with Locke's face. Yeah.
I know. It's like, holy shit. And you're not thinking that. You're not thinking
And
that
it's-
at the time.
No, you're not, to say the least. You're not thinking, you know who's over there in the woods next to Richard and Locke? It's another version of Locke. Who's not even Locke from the future.
Nope.
He's like Man in Black pretend to be Locke in the future.
Yep.
Oh, man. It's too much.
It's way too much.
How they got away with this TV show, I'll never know.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That scene with Sun and Ben at the Sun and Widmore at the airport, seeing it again made me remember how lackluster that scene was. Like, how dare you accost me on the street in front of my business? I mean, first of all, you're the daughter of a business partner who's a friend of yours. It's not that crazy.
It's not that bad.
She didn't come and like put a knife to your throat. No. You know what I mean? Like it was just, and then he does this, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you miss your flight." You know, like you come into this place, they do what I say, and she was like not threatened at all. She's like, "Fine, I'll sit down. I want to kill Ben. Your move." Yeah. It was just such a weird.
The end, yeah.
Yeah, it was very... like well, you played a lot of cards here, Widmore, for very little. And again, Widmore is just such a lackluster villain. Like he barely wants to go back to the island. I mean, I know everyone says that's what his number one goal is, but that's not how he acts on the show at all.
Yeah.
Like he's like, fine, if I get the island, great. If not, I'll be fine being a billionaire. Like
right.
It's okay. It's less dirt under my fingernails.
He's got a feud with Ben. That's clear. But yeah, like specifically with the arm stuff, yeah, I don't know. It feels like that line should have been in the previous scene with Sun and Widmore, and it was really just to like, I guess, you know, push it forward to the next point. But it is just like that scene.
Yeah.
You know.
2. Yeah.
Should have just ended with, you know, I want to kill Ben Linus, like.
And you know, Widmore's thing, it's again still unclear why he wants to come back to the island, and I feel like they should have just tied that into what Pierre Chang said about you know, the Orchid Station and what they were doing there, trying to tap into unlimited energy. Yeah. You know, Widmore being a business magnate should have been like, you know, speaking of electromagnetism, he's a magnate. That's a linguistics joke, and that should have been his whole thing too. You know, like, yeah, I don't want to go back to the island because I just want to be the leader of a tribe of lost boys. Like, I want to go back to the island so I can become even richer. You know,
right.
Like, I want to get that sweet energy, yo.
Yeah.
And he even when he does come back with Desmond, he's got the maps that Jin put together about where the pockets of energy were, and he had what's her name and the glasses. Like they were all Zoe, trying to find Zoe, trying to all find this pocket, and it would all line up to what I'm saying, and then they just drop it completely.
Yeah.
It's the best.
He said he's on a mission from Jacob. I mean, you know, maybe that's true. We'll never know.
It's probably not true. I mean, I don't know. We'll get there.
I agree though. I think the build up to Widmore was pretty cool. Like when he was this shadowy figure and you didn't really understand.
It's Jeepers Creepers. It's the Jeepers Creepers effect.
Yeah.
The monster's great until you see him in the daylight and you realize he's not that scary.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like, he's just a fucking rich guy.
He's just Alan Dale, all right?
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. The same with like you remember like with Pike, and that early
Yep.
stuff with Jin, and oh,
Yeah.
he's so evil, that Pike. He's
Mm-hmm.
making Jin kill people. Yeah, once. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay, that was a big deal
Yeah.
once. And then it was like, let's move on from
That was
this.
it. Yeah. 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 It definitely got blown out of proportion. I. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that scene was really lackluster, and it's such a letdown because it felt like I don't know, and it's instantly less interesting when it becomes concrete about I want to kill Ben Linus,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like this more vague we have common interests, and
Yeah.
we're not the only ones who got off the island.
Mm-hmm.
You
Because
know, it's
it's
like
all innuendo and it's all
exactly.
interesting and
It makes it seem like Sun has some like crazy multifaceted plan that involves collaborating with Whitmore, and it's like, nah,
she
I
does
just want to
it.
kill Ben.
She didn't even want to collaborate with him because I mean she came up and said that, and I guess they didn't even. She just walked away. Like
Mm-hmm.
there seemed to be no more conversation from that
Apparently,
scene.
that was it.
And then
Yeah.
she was just like, okay, bye, and
Okay,
then like
bye.
Audi 5000. And then a few days later or some short amount of time later, he stops her at the airport and it's like, and then they have another seemingly quick
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, almost the
Uh,
same thing,
Basically the
except there's
same
one.
thing.
Finally they get to the point.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the thing I want to do.
You don't think they could have emailed each other?
Yeah,
Like.
seriously. They did have email in
Mhm.
2007.
I'm sure her email is squan@pikecorp.com. I mean, come on.
So true. She's a majority shareholder now. Yeah, she doesn't get an
Yeah.
email address for that.
You can find her on the company about page, all right? Like, she's got to be listed there.
No, I have to buy the airport first.
I'll never be able to track her down if I can't stop her international travel. Oh gee, like literally, like the lady who was at the ticket counter, like it's in their computer system
Yeah.
that if Sun Quan
Yeah.
checks in for a flight, detain her.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Lock her in this room and
Wow.
talk to her.
And then it's like, how long did it take him to get down to the airport, right? Like, how long was she
Seriously.
waiting for him to like show up?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, why is he even there? Where is she,
Like,
by the way? Oh, right. I guess she's still in England. I guess that's the idea. Okay, so he's at least in the right country.
maybe this was before she left the country. He's
Yeah.
catching her. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I was
okay.
thinking.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're on my home turf. All English people are on the same page about which foreigners to stop at the airport. I don't know, like.
I own this island, basically.
Brett, he's got to own some island.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as good.
It's the Queen, and then it's me, and then it's the Prime Minister.
Of course.
And yes, the Queen and I do have a gentleman's agreement about the rules. All right, well, this show is the show that keeps on giving. I swear, it's what a weird,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. What's the con word I'm trying to say? A weird collection is what I'm trying to say. Weird collection of craziness.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do enjoy episodes like this that kind of just skip around. And this is an example of something we were talking about in terms of changing the format. Like we don't. I mean, you can view things differently if you want, but in the traditional sense, like we don't get flashbacks. We don't get.
Yeah.
We really just kind of follow present storylines progressing in parallel. And it was kind of exciting to get that because it meant that every scene we watched was advancing the plot on some level, which is not the way it used to be. It used to be that we would get these flashes and they would be character building and stuff, and sometimes they would, you know, get affect the plot, but oftentimes, you know, it was like just the island part would you know would be relevant to the overall plot. So I did enjoy that, but I think on a critical level, like this episode was a mess. like like
Yeah.
it was just, and I think that's part of why I didn't remember it. Like when you look at the scenes, it's like, why are they even coming after each other? Like it's just skipping around
It's almost like this episode is a turntable, and it's skipping.
Uh-oh, don't metaphor me.
You just got metaphored.
It's like, I feel like Sawyer, you know, I feel like he's seen like the Terminator, or I feel like he can understand like we're traveling in time. I don't know. Is it? I feel like it's not that hard to understand.
It's
If you've
every
seen
time
fiction-
a character is like, there's two versions of this. There's we don't have enough time for me to explain, and then
Right.
there's it's too complicated to explain.
Yeah,
And I think he used both excuses
He
at the
did.
same time.
he did.
In
I
any
couldn't
case,
explain this to a quantum physicist. It's like,
Yeah.
we're not looking for equations. What the fuck?
yeah, no, just say it really simply the way you just did. And that's what always happens whenever they're like, it's just too complex to explain. But whenever they're pressed, they
Yeah.
can get the message across.
Yeah.
Yeah, use your words.
Yeah. We're not gathering data. Like, we don't have to understand this on a technical level, but just practically. And it's like, we've seen fiction, like, we have a context for understanding time travel. So it's not, I feel like even the record thing is like, you know, we're skipping around in time. Like, did you ever see Sliders? Or, you know, like, it's not.
So yes, we're Jerry O'Connell and we're sliding. All right, that's what we're doing. Yeah, but you know they can't reference other stuff. But
Can't they? I mean,
in
isn't that Sawyer's thing? I don't know. It just seems like.
well, yeah, but
No?
they can't really. I don't know. Maybe that would be weird. But yeah, I guess they could. They could.
And we're gonna get that, you know, Empire Strikes Back thing from Hurley later on. You know, I'm gonna send George Lucas my script, and
Well, there's obviously pop culture, real life pop culture they can reference, but yeah, I don't know, another TV show. But yeah, I mean, I guess they could have done that. Like, yeah, they could have done that. This is like XYZ thing, or yeah, it wouldn't have been necessarily Dan's example because he's not necessarily that kind of person. But like Sawyer.
Oh yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe he doesn't watch enough media.
Yeah.
To have a reference, even if Sawyer would get it.
Sawyer would reference things by pop culture, but yeah,
Right.
Dan's not that kind of person.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. He's the one doing the explaining, so it's on him to come up with the reference point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll accept that.
Oh man, what a crazy one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I did enjoy it, but it's really just a fucking mess.
Yeah, and there's all the stuff they leave dangling with
Yes!
the Dharma stuff at the beginning, and you know they seem to connect the island moving with from the donkey wheel with this orchid station, and then building the station, and here's this unlimited energy thing. But they just like leave that hanging, like what's going on there, and it seems like they were wrong about tapping into unlimited energy, and it actually becomes this thing about time travel.
Oh, I was gonna ask about that. Because he's like, do nothing. You can't drill anymore. It's dangerous. God help us all if you drill anymore. And then I'm thinking, at the end of season 4, we saw Ben put those metal objects in, blow a hole in the wall, and then he's able to access the donkey wheel. So are we supposed to believe that the sort of edge of that chamber that he blows a hole through, is that where they're drilling there? Like, is that what we're supposed to think? Like,
yeah, I'm thinking basically where they were standing, where the rock surface where the holes were in the wall is basically the chamber that they built. It's basically
Okay.
where the chamber is. And so when Ben blasts through the chamber, he's blasting through the last feet of rock
Okay.
that connect to the donkey well, which basically means they're able to tap into that power without having to be directly on top of it, like
Yeah.
without drilling anymore, which is interesting because it's like, well, why did they even think they had to drill more
Well,
if
I was
it's
also,
all gonna.
yeah, right. They make do without it, but I was also gonna say it seems like his concerns about drilling more were maybe overblown because Ben blows a hole through there and it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a weird one. That's a weird one. Maybe because they built that
And we've already
infrastructure
seen that
around it.
happen. So it's just anyway. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe because of how they built the thing around it, his explosion was more. I don't know. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like yeah, it was. They could have maybe continued. I mean, they're just wrong about it, basically.
Yeah.
They're just sort of wrong about. It's not like a bubble that's going to burst if you drill too close or something. Because I think the idea is, the donkey wheel is controlling that power down there,
Yeah.
and it's the water and the light, as it were.
Right.
Star Mark Angelar, it's just some amorphous metaphor about what's really happening there.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's the idea. So it is pretty stable, but I think it does go back to the Swan Station. The idea of, being too close to that can cause an explosion or an
Yeah,
implosion.
yeah, it feels very similar to that, definitely. And what you said later in the season, the whole like Radzinski hit in the pocket thing.
Yep, yep.
It's kind of a preview of that idea.
Yeah, they were worried about this pocket, these energy pockets, like
Mm-hmm.
blowing.
A lot of pockets.
A lot of energy pockets. It's like the island is like cargo pants. So many pockets. I feel like that's a joke I would have said on the original
It
podcast.
does sound like,
Like it's an
yeah,
old school joke
yeah,
somehow.
Kirk. Wow. It's appropriate though.
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? All right. Well, if that's it, we can wrap it up, and we'll be
Yeah.
back next time with the liars. There's some
Ooh.
people lying. It's the whole lie.
The lying liars.
The lying liars of Lying Town. Choo choo better not go in that tunnel.
Oh yeah, the Kate running thing. Yeah, there's a lot of dangling threads.
I forgot Kate. Kate's like, oh, somebody came to my door. Gotta
Yep.
leave.
Gotta go. Bye,
Gotta
baby.
go.
Get
Bye.
out.
Say the only home you've ever known. Goodbye.
Get the fuck out.
I hope I packed all the toys you love because I only brought one. Oh, Kate, yeah, she was born to run. And in a way, this idea that they have to come back to the island is, again, exemplified because none of them have learned their lessons yet.
Right.
So here's Kate again, still being born to run.
Same old pattern. Yep.
Yeah.
It's true.
So in that sense, in that way, it makes sense. But oh man, oh next one, oh I can't wait. Season 5. Oh, I can't wait. There's so much good
it's
stuff.
it's on now.
It is on. I mean, this is the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Although that was the previous episode, but
Yeah, this is more the beginning of the end.
yeah,
I would say we're getting way closer.
the beginninger of the end.
Yeah,
A little more beginning.
exactly.
All right. Well, until next time. Thanks and namaste.
Namaste and good luck.